Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 869th day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Russia has lost approximately 556,650 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war. The number, which has not been independently verified, includes 1,030 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 9 tanks, 23 armored combat vehicles, 48 artillery systems, 2 air defense systems, 26 drones, 5 cruise missiles, 84 vehicles, and 8 pieces of special equipment. The International Fund for Ukraine has entered into an agreement for the purchase of artillery ammunition for Ukraine worth £300 million. The package will include up to 120,000 rounds of newly produced 152mm artillery ammunition. The Australian government has announced its largest single military assistance package to Ukraine, worth nearly $250 million Australian dollars. The package includes air defense missiles, air-to-ground and anti-tank weapons, artillery, mortar, cannon, and small arms ammunition. The US announced a new military aid package for Ukraine valued at $225 million. The package includes 1 Patriot battery and multiple ammunition. The Russians launched 103 combat clashes and carried out 49 airstrikes, including 101 anti-aircraft missiles on the territory of Ukraine. They also used 486 kamikaze drones and carried out 3,109 attacks on the positions of Ukrainian troops and settlements using various types of weapons. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports that Russia's casualties in Ukraine have risen sharply in recent months. Over May and June 2024, Russia suffered an average of over 1,000 casualties per day. This increase is likely due to Russia opening a new front while maintaining offensive operations elsewhere. However, Ukrainian defenses and a lack of Russian training are hindering Russia's ability to make significant progress. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Russian authorities reportedly attempted to assassinate leading figures in the European defense industrial base, likely as part of Russian efforts to disrupt and deter Western aid to Ukraine and Russia's wider efforts to destabilize NATO members. Finnish authorities reported an increase in GPS malfunctions in the past week, and that most disruptions to aviation and maritime GPS and radar originate from within Russia. Ukraine intends to hold a second meeting of the Global Peace Summit by the end of 2024 and reportedly plans to invite Russia to participate. European Union leadership is reportedly considering restricting Hungary's power as EU Council President following Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow and his efforts to present himself as a potential mediator between Russia and Ukraine. The Russian government continued efforts to root out critical voices and consolidate control over the Russian information space. The Russian Federal Security Service claimed that it prevented a terrorist attack against an Orthodox church in Makob, Republic of Adygea on July 11. Russian federal subjects continue to use monetary incentives as part of Russia's crypto mobilization recruitment efforts. Ukrainian forces advanced north of Kharkiv city, and Russian forces recently advanced south of Siversk, northwest of Avdiivka, and west of Donetsk city. At the 75th NATO summit in Washington, Zelensky met with US President Joseph Biden, who announced a new defense package for Ukraine. Zelensky expressed gratitude for the US's support, highlighting its role in halting the Russian advance in the Kharkiv region and bolstering Ukraine's energy system. He thanked Biden for condemning the Russian strike on a children's hospital and for providing new air defense systems. Zelensky emphasized the need for swift military aid and discussed the importance of restoring peace, advocating for a second peace summit. Biden reaffirmed U.S. support, stating Ukraine will prevail against Russia, and noted ongoing efforts with NATO allies to supply F-16s to Ukraine. Zelensky also held a press conference with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. Zelensky expressed gratitude for NATO's support, highlighting the provision of 5 Patriot systems and other air defense systems to Ukraine. He also noted the adoption of the G7 joint declaration and the endorsement of the Ukraine Compact, which strengthens Ukraine's security framework. Zelensky reaffirmed Ukraine's commitment to joining NATO. Stoltenberg confirmed NATO's long-term support for Ukraine, including a commitment of €40 billion in military assistance and the establishment of a command to coordinate security aid. During her visit to the United States, Ukrainian First Lady Alina Zelenska toured a social center for people with disabilities and the organization SEEC, which supports individuals with intellectual and physical disabilities in employment, socialization, and recreation. She visited a family benefiting from SEEC services and emphasized the need for inclusive living and development conditions. Zelenska highlighted that over 300,000 Ukrainians have gained disability status due to the Russian invasion. In a roundtable discussion, she discussed Ukraine's barrier-free strategy until 2030, focusing on making spaces, transportation, services, and information accessible. Zelenska stressed the importance of international experience in supporting young people with disabilities and affirmed that Ukraine aims to emerge from the war stronger and more humane. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.